What up, Owl Nation and Fishbowl? How you guys doing? What up, LOL? I'm gonna try my best to catch your comments. Acabo de subir un dibujo e TikTok por. I don't know what you're saying, Carlos. I'm sorry. What up? How you doing, bro? Hola, hola. I'm not able to translate it, unfortunately, because I'm not using my phone to look at the comments. And when you use your laptop on TikTok, you can only see what they say. So I don't know what you're saying, Carlos. Oh, he's saying. Oh, you want to translate for me? Appreciate you, dude. Alright, so like I was saying earlier, this character, he is the president of this secret world government in the story that deals with all the supernatural things that exist in this fantasy world called demonation. And in this story, in this manga, Ranji, he is 5,000 years old, and he makes sure that the real threats to this little tiny world that these snakes seem to be coiling around and crushing, he makes sure the real threats are at bay. And so he's a really important character in the story. Every night he tends to this limbo spacey mist that cover the new world, this fake world in the story, and where these leviathans exist, and they devour these souls that get trapped in the limbo mist. He goes and he sort of tries to pluck out those souls from the limbo mist, and he crushes these leviathans. This is like something he just does, like tending to the garden, basically. Just to give you a little bit of backstory. So let's see what else we can add to this. We got his skin tone. I want to add some coloration to. That's a little too dark. I need something. I want to give his hair. His hair is white, but I want to give some shade to it, some tone. Let me see, maybe brick white. It'll kind of break up. Oh, that's dirty. I need some new ones, man. Yeah, this will work. Just add a little bit of brick white to his hair. You don't need much. You don't need much. Remember, Copics are very saturated, so you know, kind of watch how much you put down. You don't want to put an overwhelming amount of color, because it'll just kind of be too much saturation. You know, you just need to kind of accent things to show.
Thanks for taking a little jump back to 2022. The songs you had on repeat. Julia Brown first.
Where's the milky white? There it is. Can you rate my draw? I just public draw on TikTok. Can you rate me, please? Yeah, sure, dude. Just follow me and I'll follow you back and I'll check out your page. If any of you guys have art that you want me to see, I'm willing to help and support y'all if you guys are doing something original. If you guys are doing fan art, I don't want to support that too much, because there's just so much fan art that a lot of people, that are doing original stuff, like this is all from my imagination, right? This story, everything. They don't get the support they need. So if you guys are doing something original and you're, you know, even if you're just starting out today, as long as you're doing something original, I will follow you back and I will actively try to support you in whatever way I can. So, you know, just follow me and I'll follow you back, and that's how I know. And let me know in the chat who you are real quick if you want me to do that. Yeah, I got Carlos. I will check your stuff out, brother. Okay. Where's brick white? Where is it? Okay, we got white right here. Any more white? His wings, I guess, but I kind of want to give him a little bit of a different tone than. No, this is too. It looks too much like a skin color. So let's see. Pearl white. There we go. Let's try that. That's also kind of like a skin tone a little bit. We'll just accent it a little bit. And then we'll go in with some warm W1 warm gray. Let's see what we can do with this. People usually just support fan art, kind of sad. Yeah, I know. It is really sad, but they really are craving original art. They just don't get to see original artists because most of the people are making money off of fan art, dude. Like, that's the truth. Most of the artists out here, they're not really artists. They're makers. They're like no different than an AI. Even though AI could do better than fan art than them, they're basically AI. Here, Boruto or whatever. That, like, AI is a threat to them. AI is not a threat to us. That's the awesome thing about AI. Is like it's gonna force those people to actually start to use their imagination, bro. Instead of just like a Google image and just try to copy exactly what they see from, I don't know, a popular show like Boruto or something, or Gachiakuda or whatever. But you know what, man? Japan really does respect original work, and that's awesome. That's really a big deal. The West, unfortunately, is barely starting to wake up because they had to get beaten down by all the remakes with the political agendas shoved into the storytelling. Now people are waking up and they're starting to crave real originality. So welcome, y'all. We're here to kill it today. So let me see here. I remember this is pretty dry. Let me think. I'm trying to remember what color is. He has a lot of purple. He's got this royalty aspect to him. But he's a very humble character, so that's too dark. Just amethyst. Oh, that's super dark. We'll use this for dark. We'll use this one. Something light, a light purple. This is more fruity looking. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so this is how we're gonna just do, remember, so I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over it. Just supports art a lot more than the West. Yeah, man. And the West, they tell you nobody cares about your art. You need to know somebody to get into the industry. In Japan, you could be a 15-year-old boy, girl, have a manga you've been working on since you were a kid, excited. You can make an appointment and walk into Shueisha, his building, and talk to an editor from Weekly Shonen Jump or Kodansha or whatever, and they will give you an appointment and you can sit down and talk to them and they'll see your work, and to your face they'll tell you what they think and they'll give you good advice. Here, everybody's just too cool for you. This is a gate-kept industry, and only basically rich kids and people that, like, they want to get their idea. They want you to draw Spider-Man for them for the 100,000th time and make a Spider-Man comic. Those are the people who are gonna get a chance. That's why you see people like I don't know, like Peach Momoko or whatever, or Sana Kanata, I think it's a lot of them. They're not even doing their own thing. They're just been hired to do art for DC or Marvel. It's so sad, you know, like we want to see original art, bro. And you know what, bro? Japan is really, when it comes to comics, that's where it's most alive. So You'll be seeing my stuff in Weekly Shonen Jump one day, bro. So hopefully you'll see it soon. I just gotta get the ball rolling. Now there is issues, of course, with the Japanese industry as well when it comes to comics and manga. I would say that, you know, during the big three era of Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto, I think that was their peak, and then ever since that era, they've kind of been on a decline in terms of like quality. It's just been the same stuff, like cloning this Naruto, and making a story that's like that, or you know, there's just been a lot of the same stuff, and that's why Japan is actually needs people from outside to bring in their own information, because anime is too big now. It's too big to not be a field where multiple people could compete in, not just like one group, one race. You know, we're starting to see more and more of that, but I know with the situation with foreigners in Japan is very tense, because a lot of the conservative types are coming out and saying, hey, you're ruining our country and all this. They're trying to create a conflict, you know? But when you know that the world doesn't belong to us, that it was here before us, you stop thinking in those ways. You stop thinking about, oh, I gotta keep the purity of this and purity of that. And you realize, like, everything purely belongs to God. That you're just a creation, and you've been given a capacity, and you gotta work within your capacity and do your best. There's a lot of naysayers out there, a lot of haters that are gonna tell you to quit your goals. They're not gonna respect you. Even if you're really good, they only respect money, and they'll think there's something wrong with you, and it will continue even when you're an old man, bro. It'll continue like that. But every day people consume art on a daily basis, non-stop if they can. On their lunch break at their job, they're consuming art in some form or the other. And the reality is, I don't think we'd want to live this life without art, that we really do need it. Storytelling and art, it's just a natural force that exists, and that some people really dive into, and others seem to just think it's something that's a waste of time, and then you should only do it when, you know, you had a hard day of work, even though it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do this stuff. You have to train for a long time.
Along with some more new stuff I think you'd be into.
Yes, all shonen feel the same. Yeah, right now they basically need this. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Shonen Jump, actually, they emailed me back. I sent them my pitch book. I didn't know you're not supposed to send pitch books. They only take one shots, but they emailed me back, bro. So that tells you that they're actually interested in what I'm showing, and I just need to send them a one shot, they told me, and we'll see what happens, bro. But it's very difficult, you know, like pursuing this path it's really the hardest path. You know, every day you're gonna hear it from loved ones telling you you're wasting your time and all these horrible things, but they're so asleep, they don't even, you could be Leonardo da Vinci undiscovered and they still would tell you to quit. So that's what we're dealing with as artists. You have to, I saw this post earlier today when I was just kind of doing my little scrolling routine, just a little bit of scrolling in the morning, and there was some person in the art community who made a post that said that if you only, basically, if you're doing your art and you're mad that people are not supporting it or whatever, then you're not really doing your art for you. It's to show off and to. That's not true. Anybody with that's a human, they're going to want to get appreciated for the work they do. They're going to want acknowledgement from others. This is a normal, healthy thing to have. It's really sad when you see art people turning on art people. And it's like, we already have the business people against us. Why do we need the artists to be against us too? There's many stories I have where I've encountered artists just being too toxically competitive that they don't realize, like, dude, just simply connecting and making friends and sharing knowledge is so valuable. You should all support each other. So if you guys are doing your own original stuff, I'm gonna support you in whatever way I can. Give me a second, guys. Change. You gotta escape the hellhole that
Okay, moving on. I got flying.
DJ Spotify put me in real quick.
A few other artists like that.
They say we don't need artists, but they'd be actually so depressed without art. Yeah, brother. They would literally end up making art. I guess we do need it. You know what your society turns into if you don't have art? Look up ancient Sparta. Look at what art they've produced in the whole time they existed. They have, I think, one book that they created from their civilization. And then look at how they treated their people and how it's crazy. There's so much information they don't put out there because they don't want to ruin the image, but they were sus as hell, bro. They should have been called, instead of Sparta, they called it Sparsus or something. Suska. Because they were sus, bro. Doing some sus, unethical stuff. What are you gonna do? I bet if they had a little art, maybe that would have calmed them down a little bit. Trying to remember, was this golden? Was these color golden? I don't remember. It's okay. We might just keep going with this. What's going on with Shonen Jump is they're really desperately looking for their next One Piece, their next Dragon Ball Z. And it's because they understand that a lot of these new series, they're coming in fast and then they're leaving fast. There's nothing that has a lot of staying power, and what ends up happening, unfortunately, is the way they try to remedy that is they give it a sequel. So all of a sudden you're getting these like unnecessary sequels. Like, I don't really, like, we really didn't need Boruto, bro. We really didn't need it, but they did it because it's like, oh well, there's too much money being made by this brand, so we need to keep it going. And right now we don't really have much in our magazine, so they'll do that. And then they have things like that are very experimental, almost a little too experimental. And they'll put that out there too because they're trying to fish for what's the climate like, and that's why you're coming out with things like Chainsaw Man and Dan and they're fun and quirky and weird for sure, but they're not One Piece, bro. They don't have a pillar that they could establish with like One Piece and Naruto and Bleach. They don't have it, and that's why they need it, bro. JJK ain't gonna be it. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys think JJK is like the best thing ever, but it really isn't. It really isn't. And it's very much a Bleach clone. It may be done a little better, you can argue. I don't think so, but even the creator himself said that, bro. Like, he literally said, like, I got inspired by Bleach so much. And you can see it. Let's see. Where's the goldenrod? What? I had it right here. Oh, there it is. I watched One Piece, FMA, JJ, BA, and Dr. Stone. Now I feel like no anime is like me. Yeah, Dr. Stone is kind of interesting. I think his art style, I think his name is Koichi. His art style is not for everybody. It's cool, very detailed, but there's something to his style, especially the way he draws his like females. Their eyes look so far away and apart. It just totally throws me off. I don't mind it. I try to get into Dr. Stone a little bit. I thought it has potential, and I heard it gets really good later when certain characters get involved and stuff. So, but I never went that far. I should definitely read it though. Yeah, bro. Like, it's just crazy the way this. Look, I have been trying to give Gachi Akuda a chance because it's really designed. There's a lot of emphasis on the design, and I would say that people are trying to compare it to Soul Eater. I don't think so. I think Gachi Akuda is closer to Fire Force than Soul Eater, and that Soul Eater, bro. There's something about Soul Eater that he just did right. That you cannot replicate that anymore. Like, it has such a beautiful aesthetic, and it's so pure based on design, like, and it doesn't get in the way of the storytelling. It doesn't. You like the characters, you really like them, and you like how each character looks unique. I feel with Gachi Akuda, it's closer to Fire Force because they're all wearing like a uniform setup. It's all very much belts and buckles and all these things. It's like decorative, too decorative. And the main character, bro, low-key, he kind of looks like a girl boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give him eyelashes and they make him like skinny. There's some issue. There's issues, bro. There is issues when it comes to the dialogue and so many things. But at least they're trying to make something new, making some trash fantasy world. Like, that's an interesting concept, and I like how they did it. They actually designed very much heavy on the design side of things. I just feel that when I try to get into it, it's like there's a lot of aspects of the storytelling and the over decorativeness that just kind of takes me out. But to each their own, man. I'm not here to put y'all taste down. You guys enjoy what you enjoy. It just doesn't feel right. Yeah, man. Yeah, it does not. Something's off. Okay, what else you got here? Oh. Let's see. I'm just gonna give a little bit to his white. He's got a white suit on, so I'm gonna add a little bit of shading with this gray. We're gonna need to refill on the gold and yellow. This is super dry. I'm just gonna have to put a little bit on each. Yeah, no, there's things with Gachi Akuda, dude. Like, for example, the whole thing with the rich people wanting their trash for some reason. Maybe there's a story reason there. I don't know. But it seems like the way it's just hard to really suspend your disbelief when you see a dude crying over trash, and when you see a world that talks about this separation between high and low class, trash and not trash, and stuff like this, and they don't really use it. They just use it as a form to kind of like set the stage, but then get into the power system aspect, and they don't really make something of that societal difference. I feel like that's wasted opportunity. There's storytelling to be had, but it just becomes a shonen trash buster story. And I mean trash in the sense of like it's a trash world, not like trash like it's garbage. So that's what I have with it. I was checking that out. All right, brother, enjoy your lunch. Yeah, this is dry now. Fuck. It's completely dry. What am I gonna do? I gotta at least get some on here. And then we'll use it. This is dry. Let's try acid yellow. To kind of blend it in a little bit. guys can see everything good. Okay. Where's the... I had a gray. Cool C2. Thank you, Chuddy. How do you say your name? Chando? Thank you, bro.
On next.
What the fuck is this?
All right, I can change it up. Coming next is what you've been into. XX Tentacion first.
Yeah, you're gonna get me banned, bro. Watch, I have to mute the Instagram because it's gonna say copyright strike or whatever bullshit. Bismillah. Come on, guys. you doing? How you doing, Deepan Karmahanta? That's a long name. I'm gonna call you Deep. This is Ranji. Ranji is a 5,000-year-old herald. He's an artificial herald or a false herald in the story, and basically his job is to make sure the New World stays safe from the real threats in the story, and to make sure that the different groups and threats within the New World, this little artificial world that's being squeezed by these leviathans, that those threats don't get out of hand too, that they stay in check, and the threats outside of it in the old world don't threaten them. So there's a lot to it, more than that, but just to give you like a quick flash summary of it, you understand.
Bitch, fucking up the fuck one on little bitch. Gang, gang. Shit you take the chain. We bought all that X. 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 Smoking till my lungs hurt. I count all this blood until my thumbs hurt. Yeah, bitch, I'm big 14, I saw my brother. Yeah, I can see your face right on this plain shirt. Yeah, I want another lover, all this love hurt.
Man, that's such an interesting. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I can't wait to share with y'all. There's so much to this, and I've been working on it since I was a kid for this specific story. It's a huge world, as long as One Piece, if I want it to be, and there's already so much I've written and I'm drawing. So, and there's even I have a prequel, bro, and a freaking spin-off already set up. So everything's been kind of fleshed out. This is a spin-off series. Like I was telling you, that there's this secret kind of government that this guy's at the top of called the Cloud. Well, they have a file on everybody that lives in this artificial world called the New World. And from there, I can make so many different spin-offs and open it to the public so they could create their own as well. It's going to be really exciting and revolutionary future for comics when this comes out, when this hits. People, if you know, it misses them, but when it gets out there, people are gonna recognize what's going on here. That there's so much more to it than just a manga. How long did it take to think the characters? Because I think it will take a while. You know what happens? Something very magical happens when you start to explore the story world that you're cooking up in your head, right? You ask questions, and from those questions, characters, places, backstories, items, weapons, etc., all that stuff naturally arises. So basically what I asked was, what if there was a world where there was a secret government that's like Men in Black, who instead of aliens, they keep watch of fairy tales, who are living in disguise as human. And they're living amongst humans, and humans don't know about it. And this group, this organization, they're up in the sky. They're called the Cloud. And these guys make sure humans stay asleep from the truth that there's fairy tales amongst them. And from that kind of setting, I kept asking more and more questions. So what kind of world they live in, what kind of you know, what it, and it just kept going. And that's how these characters, they started popping their head out. They started becoming clearer. So when you start to ask questions, you'd be surprised how fast you could come up with things. Just, you got to get curious about the stories that, the stories that you're cooking up. Because the story, John went to the bank, he got robbed at the bank, and then he was able to find the robber before he escaped, and he took his money. That's just a story, right? It's just a story. What about the world John is in? What about the people and everything? You got to ask all those questions as a writer, as a creator, doing manga, comics, whatever. You got to ask questions, and that's your ammunition. When you keep asking, you're going to get answers, you know, and you'll eventually come up with very unique things, very unexpected things. That's good. Yeah, it's natural. It's a very natural way to do it. So I'm sure if you keep it up, bro, you have a big story world that you could share with everybody too. Okay. Looking for. This might be too dark. Lighter blue, super light blue with this one. Yeah, my approach is I first try different small stories, and then I connect them all and make it a big world, and then I try a new situation, open more stories. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good approach, bro. Whatever gets you curious about your story, about the world is in, about the people that live in that kind of world, and the creatures, etc. You know, it really is. It just starts to unfold, and it's almost like you, at some point, because you seeded it right and you watered it right and you asked questions and you got curious, you'll find yourself just daydreaming about it. And that's how all this stuff kind of comes about. Is like, you know, there was a time in my life where when I was first really getting into this story, where I really just couldn't stop thinking about it. It would just keep coming, and more ideas would come and go, and it was super exciting. It was like I couldn't turn off my brain. I would literally sleep to thinking about it. It was so overwhelming in the beginning, and then as time went on, and I, experienced life and friends and etc. I started to focus more on art trainings, training my skills up, training my writing up, and that fever-like effect where it's just so in your head and constantly, it started to go down because I became more and more aware of the world, became more familiar, and I eventually reached the end of the story and the world, everything pretty much. And once I got there, it was kind of like I didn't have that issue anymore. Instead, now it became like, oh, I see everything that's on the table. Now it's time to put it all together and show people. And so that's where we're at now, which is very exciting. We finally reached to a state where art skills are good enough to be different and to stand out, I think. And I really believe that you don't really see this content. You will not find this anywhere. This is completely original. And yeah, sure, you can see inspirations, and that doesn't take away from its originality. It's so funny when I get that comment, because I always get people talking smack because they're jealous, right? They'll come and they'll say things like, this looks like Soul Eater, this looks like JoJo Bizarre Adventure, this looks like One Piece, this looks like Naruto. They never agree. They can never agree. One guy told me it looks like Constantine. I didn't even I mean, I like Constantine, but I never read any Constantine. I watched the movies. What you find out is they will never agree. People will always try to not let you shine, not let your work be what it is, because they need to put it in a category, because there isn't a category for it yet. And so that's what this is. It's something pure, and it's something that's going to hopefully wake up the world to the truly magical world that surrounds us every day. So this is much more than a story for me, and I'm glad you guys are here to see the whole journey start to unfold. Why does this feel so loose? No, it's too pink. Let's add some blush to his, just a little bit. That's exactly the right attitude, Deep. Just keep on going, bro. You'll be good. You'll be good. Kairos. people are so rude. There are the people who don't even know the amount of effort it took to create a world that feels awesome to you so much that you give your all to it. Yeah, I know, man. There is a ton of people like that. A lot of people, unfortunately, are mindless consumers. So they pretty much go to work and consume after work or during work. All they do is consume art, but they don't really think about artists, and like they just think like, oh well, only those who have money can do that, or those who have been handpicked by the establishment who decides who gets to do art and who doesn't because of, you know, quote unquote, how good you are or whatever. You'll find a lot of artists, creators that are working right now, making a ton of money. They're not good at all. Like sometimes you'll be in disbelief. You'll be like, wait. How the heck did this guy, this girl, how the heck did they even get that? Oh, there's connections, there's things like this. So you kind of realize, man, this shit is unfortunate, but money for most people who are like NPCs types, you know, the bots, like money is the number one deciding factor for your value, and if you're a man or a woman, you know, if you're worthy, etc. It's so much anti-human behavior. You'd be surprised it comes from humans. But really the question is, does it actually come from humans? That's something I'm gonna get y'all to think about. But all we can do is create unapologetically and show that your work inherently has value, that it's not just coming out of thin air, that you're connecting to something that they can connect to as well, but they're just they're too stuck in the matrix, bro. They're too stuck in the system to tell that they're being chewed up by it, because they're constantly making themselves forget by consuming whatever thing the system gets them distracted with, you know. So you existing and doing your thing, you know, sharing your art, what happens is it kind of rubs them the wrong way, and for some people it kind of wakes them up. Oh shit, this guy's doing this, this girl's doing this. Man, I want to see what I can do. That's what some people have, that reaction. And so that's why we're here, to share, to kind of be inspiring to others and help others enter this creative domain. So, you know what, man? We don't need more money and war in the world. We need more art. You know, we really don't need more revolutions. We just need an art revolution. That's what we need. Like a worldwide art where people actually appreciate the art and actually show it and want to support it and want to, you know? But too many of the artists are cowards. I'm gonna be real with you. Too many artists are cowards. They would rather draw some rich dude's idea than to do their own. And they're like, no, well, I need to survive. Bro, you don't need that much to survive, to be honest with you. You don't need that much. You just need to do your craft, do your work, put it out there. And they're not willing to take a pay cut. They're not willing to, you know, I have to support, I have to do, okay. All right, man, you dug yourself into that hole. It is, unfortunately, how it is you'll have people who literally contribute nothing in this world, and they just simply go online and talk all day, and they get millions of dollars. And then you have people who dedicate their whole life to something, and they get nothing, because, you know what, that's just how the system works. And unfortunately, man, you have to kind of expect that now. And what I would say is, no matter what, you know, you keep putting your stuff out there, keep reaching out to creators, connect, and, you know, try to get with the publisher, try to put your stuff out. That's all we can do is share and create. And if you are able to hire people to work on your project or whatever, you know, that's awesome too. And you could team up and do those things. You'd be surprised how many artists would rather work with you on your project or whatever than to go and get a job at McDonald's or something, you know? But it's just too many artists they think like that's beneath them. They deserve a higher level of pay, so they'll only work for studios for rich people. And that's it. Even though all the art, all the real good art, it comes from the bottom, not from the top. And what you'll find is throughout history, the bottom has been sponsored by the top. But the top at this moment, unfortunately, it's only one group of people seem to be sponsoring all the media. And the other peoples, they're not awake yet. They only think that when you give money, it's either you're going to get something back or you're giving it to charity because, you know, whatever. They don't acknowledge art is important, that what people think and put out there is important, and being aware that one group is particularly funding all the art in their benefit. A lot of other people need to start waking up. They need to start sponsoring their artists, their people's artists, bro. I'm telling you. It's difficult because it's hard to look beyond the programming because most people are just brainwashed. They are genuinely just brainwashed. They're NPCs. It's a sad truth, man. See what we can do about that because it's gonna be pretty much black, but it's gonna have a little bit of blue. Let me see here. Thanks, Nick, for the follow. Pinky Hurts, appreciate you, Mick. Your sacrifice was not in vain, bro. Let's see here. Appreciate you, dude. Yeah, if you guys are creating your own original stuff, let me know, man. I'll follow you back, and I always like to support my fellow artists out here doing their own thing, you know, unapologetically, not caring about what the trends are and pleasing, you know, the mindless consumers out there scrolling endlessly. Okay. So yeah, follow me. I'll follow you back. If you guys are creating your own original stuff, I will love to support you.
Popular songs on Spotify across the SNF first.
Black. That might be too much. I don't know. We're gonna have to use it.
Begging me to come out.
See what I'm saying? This music right you just heard. That guy paid for you guys to hear him. The rich get richer because they have money to spend to push you the crappy shit in your face. But real ones are out here, man. You guys, when you find a real one, support, whatever way you can. Support. See if I can work out here. So these creatures are creatures of pure destruction. These leviathans, they have an instinctual power to devour souls. And so what these guys do, there's so many of them, they're sort of mindless, but they don't really have a form. Like they pretty much come out of this mist. It's called limbo mist that shrouds the new world, this really fragile new world that the main story takes place in, away from the dangers in the old one. So any creature from the old world that tries to come in, they'll end up going in this mist and ending up on the other side. So they're never really able to get through unless you know where to go. And so in a way, these leviathans, though, they live in the limbo, so they get to come out of that mist. And sometimes souls get trapped in that mist, and these guys, they feed off of that, and it's really bad. So Grungy, this guy right here, being the one that's supposed to caretake this artificial new world, he goes out in the limbo mist every night that he can, and he'll just try to pluck out souls from the mist that got trapped, and he will eradicate whatever leviathans that are in his way to do it. I have stories I want to create, but studies keep pushing me back, as people saying I need something if the story failed, which I don't like hearing, and keep doubting myself. I hear you, dude. I hear you. They're telling you to basically have a plan B. I mean, if you're young still, you don't really need to plan. Enjoy your youth. These people want to cultivate you and turn you into something to serve them. And you have to see, maybe it's for a good reason. They want you to have a easier future. If you're going in the art direction, you are going to be pretty much, by everybody you love, they're going to think that they're doing you a favor by telling you to quit. Even now, as at the level you see me working at, that you believe I'm at, I get people, relatives, all these people tell me, you're not making any money from this, you wasted so much time doing this. And people who claim to be like to be gurus and help people, like, you know, that are my family members, they're even the ones saying that, even though it's like you're supposed to help people. Now you're trying to tell me to quit because I didn't reach your time limit. You know, I didn't maximize in the way you think I should be, where I should be at, etc. You'd be surprised how many people will come your way to tell you to quit. And that's because the world doesn't want you to do storytelling. It doesn't want you to do art. It wants you to be a cog in a broken system. And the only thing you can do about that, dude, is get really freaking good. Be really 100% about your art and your storytelling and all that. And, you know, if you're okay with working a side gig while you pursue this, that's good. But make sure your goal is clear, that you want to make some kind of story that you want to get published out there, or if you're willing to publish yourself and to be fully dedicated to making that into a living. That way you could keep doing your art. And I've had to do this for a long time, I would work security because there's a lot of downtime in security, and I would go and I would sneak in and draw and do my things, you know, because there's so much downtime. So for a long time I was doing security jobs and just drawing secretly, you know, when I could, and you know, and even then they'd rather, it's so funny, bro, when other coworkers see that you have something going on, they actually will report you to your superior. They'll report you to your boss, and your boss will have his chit chat and tell you why you shouldn't be drawing on the job, even though every single person on the job is literally scrolling on their phone, literally texting somebody on their phone or message. They say, no, you should not be drawing though. It's a funny like thing that you'll find as you do this. So it's important to just be aware that the world really, in unexpected ways and a lot of different things, they will try to get you to quit your art. My advice to you is, if you believe you have something that's worthy to bring out and to share, that it's something more than just a hobby for you, then you have to go all in. And if somebody around you is telling you, no, this is not going to work out, you tell them, look, you have very few choices in life and you become your choices. So I choose to become this. I want to create art that really people will love and experience, and hopefully it'll help them become better people too, or inspire them. And I think that the world is a better place with more art. So this is what I choose. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but this is who I am. This is what I choose. And this is what I'm fully dedicated to. And then you have to show that. You have to show it with your actions, you know. And you'll be surprised that once they start to see and they see, wow, this guy really is about it, that little programming in their brain, it'll kind of turn off a little bit. It'll come back. Trust me, it will come back. Because even when you're good, guess what? Making money from art, the system made it so difficult. You have to go and draw Spider-Man or whatever to make a living, you know, for Marvel. That's the way to, unfortunately. You can't do your own thing, huh? That's what they tell you. But it's not true. There are opportunities. Just to be like, give you a little bit of hope. Right now, where I'm at in my journey, I've already sent some of my work to Jump in Japan, Shonen Jump, and they have told me, and they responded to me, and they told me what to fix. They told me that they want to see a one-shot version for them to analyze, and that's what I'm working on. I'm going to send that to them, and you know, God willing, everything's going to work out. So, you know, but you gotta have something concrete that you could pursue on this art path. Like for me, it's publishing my work and putting it out there. Build your social media. Now you have it. Build it. I didn't have Instagram back then when I was a kid. I didn't have no TikTok. It was just Facebook, or I think we had MySpace way back then, and I wasn't even using it. So, you know, now you have a lot of resources. This is like the best time to be an artist, to be honest. Share your work, keep sharing it. And remember, you're not sharing it to get likes. You're not sharing it. Look at my life. Look at my life. Look how dead it is, bro. I know, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. I'm not saying that, but just to keep in mind, keep things into retrospect. You're going to struggle. You're gonna struggle. Accept it, embrace the suck, and really just fucking go all in, bro. Don't apologize for your original creations, and get so good it's undeniable. This is the way. That's the path. It's the hardest path, bro. But if you're willing to commit, you know, you may end up really soaring beyond anybody you know. And you just got to be willing to commit, though. That's the hard part. Thanks, Mick. I appreciate you. This is all storytelling within this. So in my story, these are all relevant characters. This is a big story, as long as One Piece. It's freaking huge. Been working on it since I was 15, 14 years old. I'm 31 now. And I've been developing it, slow cooking this thing. So this is going to be tender when it's out. And like I said, thank God I actually got some responses from Shonen Jump. And soon, bro, I promise you, I'm not going to stop till I get in and put it out there and finish the story. So I appreciate you guys joining me for this epic adventure. I hope if you guys are doing art, you're doing original stuff, I want to support you guys too. So please follow, and I'll follow you guys back. If you guys are original artists, let me know. Let me know in the chat, and I will follow you, and I will support your work. We got to normalize supporting original artists, because like I told you guys, the system doesn't want artists. It wants more slaves, more debt slaves. And this story is going to be revealing a lot of things I'm talking about to you guys in a way where it's not preachy, and that's the beautiful part, because every fucking thing now, bro, that we have in America, at least, it's fucking full of propaganda bullshit. They want you to think a certain way, the wrong way, to be honest with you, and they just pretty much gatekeep. They don't allow people to really receive gnosis from this medium. Storytelling it's the gateway to the unconscious mind. And in that collective unconscious that we all share, all those, inherited symbols and archetypes, storytelling is where we could tap into them, and where we could hold up a mirror to the world in a way that doesn't feel like it's coming from our ego. It's in a way that's coming from just pure creation. And I think when you read this story, you'll kind of pick up on that too. So can't wait to share it with y'all. So thank you for joining, guys. We're not done yet. We have a little bit more. I'm gonna add just some kind of accent to these guys to make them feel a little more menacing. Maybe some garnet right here. Got garnet cooking up right here. Give it a darkness and just viciousness to them, In a lot of ways, these Leviathans represent the world that we live in, and they're there to consume souls. They're not your friend, obviously. You wouldn't want to be this creature's friend, unless you raise different birds or something. I don't know. Maybe you can have a friend that's diet is based off of consuming souls. I don't think so, though. So in this system where you see this artificial world, the new world, it's getting crushed, it's getting strangled by these mindless snake-like forces. And unfortunately, guys, there's an infinite amount of them, because as long as the limbo exists, these things keep coming back, right? And you have to kind of understand that that's a part of life, man. There's real monsters out there, mindless, and there's a system out there that's going to consume you up, and it's going to spit you out. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't follow what your soul is calling you to, and that you shouldn't, shine whatever gift you came with, whether you know it or not. You shouldn't shine. It doesn't mean that. You need to actually, because of that, because these things are out there, you need to share your inner world, your art, And I think when you do that, I think the world gets less and less destructive and becomes a lot more creative. And that's what we're doing, is when you share your art, when you create your world, you're balancing the scales. Even if it's at a small level, it has a ripple effect. And you might not see it because you can't see what's coming. But what you can see is that art seems to bring people together to do better. Just look at all these revolutions that are happening all over the world, and they're holding up the One Piece flag, right? They're holding up the Luffy Straw Hat flag, right? Think about that. A comic book did that? Yeah, that's the power of art, guys. It's real. And we're living in a time where people are going to finally start to embrace it, especially with AI. How AI kind of makes it a lot easier for a lot of people to create art, but also it's going to start replacing our jobs, and people are going to have to start being creative. And I look forward to a world where more people could do art and not be shamed for it, demasculated or defeminized or whatever, seen as less than. It's a common problem from art. Let's see the chat. Question I have on my mind. Do you sometimes think that the vast story could be even told in one life? And if you could release the entire story to everyone, with still being able to what? Yes, I do think you can tell your whole story in one life. Look at One Piece, bro. He's literally on chapter 1200, I think, almost. And he's 50, 60 years old almost. Yeah, we're good. You can definitely do it. And, in his case, I think One Piece didn't have to be as long as it did. It just because the nature of the industry he was in, that they kind of made it longer and longer and longer. So that's sort of what happened with One Piece, but I don't think you need that many chapters. He could have probably finished One Piece in half the chapters he did, but there's a business aspect to it that keeps prolonging it. And now they're finally saying, all right, we're gonna let you go, so just hurry it up. Take out all the action scenes in the manga now, basically, and we'll just save that for the anime fights, and you just gotta indicate what's gonna happen. And so yeah, we're seeing him speed up the manga itself to finish, and we're in that final saga, guys, of One Piece. We're literally in the final saga, and it's all coming to a point. So he's about to finish the story. Hopefully he's going to be in good health and get to finish the story completely and share it with the world. Thank you, Pim. Let me see. I don't know if it counts as art, but I'm learning how to draw cats for my Biggest Warrior Cats crossover. That sounds fun. It is art. Hey man, if it came from your hands and from your imagination, that's definitely art. In fact, most of our technology is art. Everything around us really is art, but you just don't, because of its usefulness, they don't consider it art. But it really is. We're very much art-driven creatures. Technology is extension of art. It's not the other way around. If you really kind of reflect on it, you'll realize, like, yeah, all these things that we use today came from an imagination that really was sort of kind of answering a question, a problem to solve, and they use their creative faculties, their kind of daydreaming, their curiosity, all the things that you use to make art, to begin with. And they had just different tools, different colors, different things to create that thing. See, if I didn't add that red, the garnet to it, I feel like it wouldn't be as menacing looking. I feel like, these creatures would just be like a creature rather than a sort of blood lusting kind of creature. So the red really kind of makes that malevolent feeling pop, especially this kind of red. Okay. Alright, guys. Did we reach the end? Did we do it? Almost. Forgot about this guy. And you know what? We gotta do the colored pencil for this one. Next year I'm gonna buy a box of markers. It's called caps. Those that come with 60. That's awesome. That's great. You know, Mick, there's a movie that came out recently that had a cat. It was a silent movie and it won a bunch of awards. It had like this cat, I think it was called Flo. And it follows the journey of this cat in a world that's being flooded, and how he makes these animal friends along the way, and how they all bond. It's a beautiful movie, bro. And I think maybe that if you watch that, maybe that'll help kind of encourage you and inspire you. Check it out, man. Flow. I believe it's called Flow. number one thing though, if you guys are pursuing art, is you got to really love what you're creating. You got to really believe in it, no matter what anybody says. You know, don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard, but don't be too delusional either. You got to kind of have a balance, because you want to get better. That means you got to kind of assess what your weaknesses, your strengths, and you got to play on that. And so you will have, though, because of that, you'll have these artist types that they're so indoctrinated in the academia of art. There's a right and a wrong way to do things. There's a proper way to do things. They'll use these ways that they'll say you need to learn all these things before you get started on your thing. It's not true. In fact, I think to use One Piece again, Oda, he was 17. He made some kind of design or one shot that got noticed. He didn't spend, I think, a single day in art school. And, you know, they're fortunate in Japan that they have an apprenticeship system. So essentially he learned everything from that point on from a professional. But he put the effort forth. One, an editor's attention who hooked him up with a mangaka to train under and to train him up and to be an assistant, an apprentice. And he didn't spend a day in art school, bro. So there's a lot of that. You'll find a lot of that. And if you look at his art way back then, it's not as good as it is what it's become, obviously. And so you will learn as you go. Another example would be Yu Yu Hakusho. Go look at the manga of chapter 1. You're gonna see the art. You're gonna say, how the hell did this guy get published and made a living from this? The story was really good. It was very pure-hearted storytelling. And you know, it didn't really matter too much about the art at that point, because the storytelling was just, it carried it through. He gets better, way better as he goes. So that's what it is. Remind yourself, there's gonna be all sorts of egos you're gonna bump into. You're gonna bump into those business-minded people that money is the only thing that has value, so what you're doing is unvaluable. You're gonna run into those fake nice people where they'll say, yeah, I know you like it, just do it as a hobby and go work at McDonald's as a supervisor. That's your future. Or you're gonna have those people who are also artists, but they're just so wrapped up in a this is the right way to do it mindset, an indoctrinated mindset, that they will put you down because they think you're doing something wrong, but it's really just their belief. And so art, there's no rules. And this is the number one invitation for you guys to create without any apology. Create, release what you have within you onto the page and share it with people. Share it, and share your stories. So that's the end of the live. Expensive for my country, of course. Maybe in other countries it seems cheaper. Very dope. Inspired to use Blender. Yeah, man, I know it's expensive. A lot of art tools are expensive. These Copics, I had to save up for a long time to get them. And I have so many Copics that are dry on me. I have to replace, but there's so many new brands that are cheaper and they're just as good, if not better. There's one that was using acrylic markers. Let me see if I could find it for you. My friend showed me. I was like, dude, these are way better, low key. I can't. I don't know where it is. I thought I had it in here, but it's not in here. It's an acrylic-based marker. It's really good. It's really good. It gives you very bold colors, which I really love. But thank you all for joining. All right, guys. Thank you. We're gonna end the live. I love your art too. And if you're creating original art, follow me and I'll follow you back, and I will support you. Okay, guys. Have a good one. No problem, Deep. Hope to see you guys soon.